Good afternoon. I'm Kariuki Kiragu, a Nairobi architect and project manager. This presentation of holistic, mass, decent, affordable housing, which is simplified to suit the allotted time, arose in 2011 while I was advising a small housing cooperative which had bought and subdivided 5 acres into 8ths along Pipeline Road towards Isinya. Then they discovered their wages were inadequate to legally service mortgages for the three-bedroom houses they wanted. We analyzed the land on how it could generate income to top up this deficit, and one answer was merging appropriate technology and intense agriculture. The housing department and Borax got involved, resulting in a continental scope, multifaceted program whose lessons and results are presented here so far. Africa's economic liberation and unity needs nurture by an African civilization renaissance to create contemporary cultural systems aligned to society. This demands transdisciplinary development models, blending the growth factors which increase desired results. The resulting popular mindset shifts and stability help overcome poverty, climate change threats, population growth, and unemployment pressures to give higher life quality, holistic security, and sovereignty safeguards. The idea is molding employment to raise productivity by mobilizing the hitherto unemployed to produce essentials needed while simultaneously enabling users pay for those essentials. One example is the cooperative-based peri-urban and rural homestead, which pays for itself and supports its owners at very little cost to governments. In 2015, Borax bade us to design homestead models with a residence and a small lot agriculture to balance agribusiness incomes and mortgage servicing. Appropriate technology, innovation, and African civilization traits were blended to yield local construction inputs use, skills, development, employment, food, industrialization, inputs manufacture, and agro-produce processing. Some of these techniques have been applied in our past projects. Here, the result was a scalable, replicable, and grassroots proposal to achieve Kenyan decent housing supply and demand equilibrium in 18 years. Therefore, Bomakazi Systems Limited, a Kenyan project management firm, was formed to actualize homesteads for 70% of the Kenyans omitted from current decent housing programs. The plan is that after necessary design, construction apprentices are educated, organized, and managed into consistent growth in numbers, skills, and delivery. Construction then begins in one county, spills over into neighboring counties and nations. Development is on 4 levels: homestead, village, cluster, and national. At the homestead level, one of the presented models, a 3-bedroom residence and its agribusinesses on 1/8 of an acre, provides about 50,000 shillings surplus revenue after monthly tenant purchase and other cost deductions. At village level, 100 to 150 homesteads are built in villages aimed at economies of scale needed for appropriate technology application, market presence, shared revenue generating agro-resource, and 3 other facilities. At cluster level, 10 to 20 villages are built in a cluster for required labor and other thresholds. The cluster center contains sophisticated manufacturing and agro-processing industries. At national level, 8 group-owned heavy industries supplying steel, cement, timber, and robotics. The poorest of our families get a homestead through cooperative tenant purchase agreements. With at least 6 million likely customers, economic demand is high because ownership only needs knowledge and hard work, which immediately and sustainably employs an owner-manager and 1.64 other people. 2018 figures show that the complete Kenya program will deliver 6.1 million homesteads, minimum 83,000 industries, equivalent 184 million tons of food annually, and 25 million jobs, exceeding the 24 million who would be otherwise unemployed. It will house 47% of the projected 72 million Kenya population and raise national per capita income by $2,000 from raw agro-produce, which pays back on capital in less than 5 years. It is funded by development banks at 62 trillion shillings, or 46% of the GDP annually, on 5,000 square kilometers, which is less than 1% of Kenya's land. This cost seems fair for restoration of values and settling shelter, employment, food, health, and industrialization aspirations. Homeowners get a residence, 2 family agribusinesses, 5 group-owned concerns, and shares in 4 national heavy industries. They also gain dignity, improved living environment, child nurture, education, and opportunity, stronger families and communities, plus diaspora return. All citizens get a boosted identity, freed minds, increased income, holistic security, and equity. By year 12, AAK will have 4,000 architects and matching numbers of other design team members needed. Program principles are a sound footing for African applied technical education, with endless spin-offs as our civilization resumes. Government gets core policy support, savings in 14 ministries, improved tax base, rural-urban balance, economic growth, stability, and prestige. The program also backs 57% of the Kenya Vision 2030 flagship programs, all UN SDGs, NEPAD goals, and sectoral priorities. The Bomakazi proposal, to get down to the ground, needs 2 things. 1, partnerships for program development with individuals, civil society, and private sector. Discussed syndication in program strategic development involving governments, AAK, Bomakazi, other willing and relevant players. Thank you very much for providing this opportunity to disseminate this idea. Thank you.